let's fill this atmosphere with warmth and love.
You're exactly the kind of person that we don't want in my community.
My behavior on that stream was absolutely unacceptable. I
felt bad about it, like innately.
I want to be better not only for myself, but for my audience.
That's what people really want. We just want to really hear you talk and just know you.
It makes me sick to think of like what you guys might say and do in other channels. That's why I'm like very strict here.
This is what growth is. This is what maturing is.
Yeah.
Cells.
Do they keep you in a cell? Cells.
Cells.
But it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't want you to interpret that as an excuse.
At the end of the day, the audience's relationship with you is a parasocial one.
Just as plain as I know how to tell you, I've never lied to you. I know that's what's going to happen. That's what it intends to do.
And you are not fit to live in modern society.
You bought a house in West Hollywood.
Cells.
Interlinked.
Interlinked.
What's it like to hold the hand of someone you love? Interlinked.
Interlinked.
I want my influence on this world to be positive.
Some people say I fell off, and maybe I did, but you know what? The last year or so, I've been having a great time, hanging out, making new friends, traveling, filming videos, and yet somehow the internet just keeps getting worse and worse. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Well, someone's got to clean this mess up. It might as well be me. Let's get this over with.
You are absolutely responsible for your audience and what they're saying and doing and what's happening in different discords and stuff. You have to. No one else can be. You are the mother that birthed that audience, right? They are a reflection of you.
This video is for the young and upcoming influencer who looks at the likes of Hassan, Idubbbz, and Ethan Klein and says, wow, I want to be just like them when I grow up, completely unaware of the nightmare that awaits them. Back in 2020, I made a video called The Parasocial Problem with Live Streaming, where I talked about what was a pretty niche topic at the time, how streamers were knowingly and unknowingly acting as a sort of virtual friend for viewers. The most dedicated of these viewers were living lives of loneliness and isolation, but they found comfort hanging out in chat rooms or Discord servers where streamers provided them with some level of social interaction and a small sense of community. These days, most online communities revolve around cults of personality where influencers are viewed as saints in the eyes of their loyal viewers. And from the influencer's perspective, playing into this type of relationship between viewers has become the norm. I mean, if you're not contorting your face like the opening screen of Mario 64 to sell as much merchandise and advertising as possible, can you even call yourself a content creator?
Young people coming up wanting to be hustlers and wanting to be entrepreneurs. Like, Andrew, you have the most cult following I've seen been made so quickly.
That's true. I certainly have a cult following.
Internet culture as we know it today is largely dictated by the opinions of a few select influencers who have formed a hierarchy of clout on sites like Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Every new drama, scandal, and hot take coming from these influencers feeds the algorithm and front page for millions of followers who react to whatever the influencers are saying, thus amplifying the message to an even broader audience. I mean, just look at this clip. It's a streamer reacting to a reaction about a situation involving another streamer. Derivative doesn't even begin to describe the layers of Plato's cave we're dealing with here. It's like staring down a hall of mirrors that's full of self-obsessed circus clowns. This endless stream of reactions creates a culture that spreads like cancer, often referred to as the discourse. And with so much of the discourse being led by so few people, the question naturally arises, just how responsible are influencers for the actions of their audience? Usually the response from content creators to this question has been split into two camps. One side takes the position that influencers bear little to no responsibility for what their viewers say or do, and the other side claims that streamers and YouTubers are responsible for the actions of their viewers. So what is the truth? Well, as usual with the discourse, both sides are missing the greater point, because content creators and influencers can mean two completely separate types of people with vastly different types of content and audiences. Let me explain in non-internet terms for a moment. If somebody watched the movie Taxi Driver and decided that they were going to enact vigilante justice on the streets of New York, would you hold Martin Scorsese, the director, accountable for that viewer's actions? No, of course not, because a movie is just a story told through a screen. Now let me pose another scenario. Your best friend is living in
Guyana, South America,
as a member of Jonestown, a communist Catholic church led by Reverend Jim Jones. Things are all swell and dandy. That was until one fateful day in 1978, when you learned that Jim Jones told his followers to drink Kool-Aid laced with cyanide, leading to the death of over 900 men, women, and children, including your friend. Now, would you place any responsibility on old Reverend Jim for his audience? I'd certainly hope so, because Jim Jones was a crazy cult leader who had a powerful influence on his followers. So much so that they left their families and livelihoods behind to move across the world and live in a commune for years before taking their own lives at his command. So what does a movie and a death cult have in common with internet influencers, you might be asking? Well, to better understand the relationship between influencers and their audience, imagine a spectrum of influence, where on one side you have the creators that communicate through works of art such as music and film. And on the other side, you have the public speakers who communicate through direct speech and actions with their audience, such as religious leaders, politicians, and cult leaders. The influencers that are so eager to take full responsibility over their audience are actually taking a path that puts them much closer to the Jim Jones, Joseph Stalin dictator end of the spectrum than it does the filmmaker, movie director, Martin Scorsese side of it. Now, if influencers want to go down a path that makes them some sort of shitty cult leader, I'm not going to stop them. But as a viewer, I just think you ought to have the right to know what's in the Kool-Aid before you drink it. People drink this shit?
Are you talking to me?
I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And,
Say, your attitude hurts the movement a lot more than mine, because you didn't do shit for it.
I've profited off of this bigoted content for years.
You're not spreading it. You're not spreading it.
This is something that I should live the rest of my life with.
Drove other people's lives in my hands, and I certainly don't want your life in my hand. But I'm going to tell you, Christine, without me, life has no meaning. I'm the best friend you'll ever have.
Broadly speaking, cults are the basis for all culture, hence the name. The size and scale of cults range anywhere from fandoms like anime nerds and K-pop stans all the way up to entire systems of religion and government like the Catholic Church, North Korea, communism, and gay communism.
The only guy that can say he's the most intelligent person on the planet without being cocky is the most intelligent person on the planet.
One of my earliest videos was a piece on Athene, an influencer who was at the top of the scene when it came to YouTube and live streaming before the term influencer was even invented. In that video, I went over how Athene presented himself in a way that was confident, funny, and eccentric, making every moment he was on camera as entertaining as possible, all while dedicating his life to the games viewers love. Athene's success started an industry-wide trend of entertaining your audience through self-referential humor and an exaggerated ego.
Look, how easy. I mean, just my presence, my charismatic presence makes us win.
At some point, things took a turn, and Athene's content began revolving around his ideas of philosophy and science in the form of streams and documentaries produced in a dorm somewhere in Germany, where he lived with a team of volunteers that he claimed had clicked with his worldview.
After I had clicked, I was seeing a girl, and I met her at the start of university.
But little did I know that just as with his initial rise to fame, Athene's cult-like community laid the blueprint for the hordes of influencers that would follow in his footsteps.
And the multi-million-dollar smile. When you want to talk about the Lamborghini Diablo VT and the Champions Club, a one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art gaming society. Yeah. You must be talking about the two-ton.
This moment, and I'm gonna enlighten you guys all, shit's about to go down. When it comes down to logic, it's not about how you like to bend it to conform for your own emotional needs. No, it's the other way around. The moment you submit yourself to logic, you become a servant of it, and you just do whatever it tells you to do.
Everybody happy to see me in the artificial intelligent form. I'm the two-time back-to-back 1993-1994 blockbuster champion.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
Before he denounced all his past videos, Idubbbz was a content creator who built his career off calling out influencers as part of a series called Content Cop. In Content Cop, he would deconstruct these influencers and explain how they were negatively impacting culture through comedic skits and edgy humor. Content Cop was immensely popular, and each episode amassed tens of millions of views, and it was met with unanimous praise.
I'm a big fan of Idubbbz. When he releases a Content Cop, that's like a YouTube holiday for me. I stop what I'm doing and I watch it.
It's no stretch to say that Idubbbz was an artist in his own right. Fast forward a few years, and Idubbbz marries a streamer girl, makes a failed hit piece on comedian Sam Hyde, and following a series of blunders, mishaps, and mistakes, he finally disowns the audience that made him so successful in the first place.
And for anyone who liked those videos, I want this video to be an example and a lesson for you. You know, you can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible.
Things have come full circle, as Idubbbz has become the type of hypocritical, self-absorbed influencer that he made a career off exposing years ago.
You're not playing a character, all right? That is you. You are being yourself in these videos.
Now, Idubbbz, I don't know how to tell you this, but take it from me, the content capo. These are mobster tactics. Your girlfriend, she has your balls in a vice grip. And look, this wasn't easy, but I've called for a few favors and I think I can get you out of this mess. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, walk across the street to Joey's Bagel Shop. Order a poppy seed bagel, double cream, no cheese. They'll know what you mean. At which point, my cousin Frank will show up, take you away in a getaway car. In a few hours, you'll be floating down the river without a care in the world as all your problems seem to melt away. Idubbbz's career path follows a disturbing new trend I call the influencer cycle. And it starts like this. At first, a content creator comes out by making something edgy that pushes the envelope and challenges societal norms. This is what gets them recognition, and if there's enough truth and talent that goes into that, their career will continue to blossom as they establish themselves as a content creator that's well known. And through continued success at this step, that content creator will become an influential figure on the culture in no time. And from here, a pivotal decision is made. Do you become an artist or do you sell your soul? Well, if you choose to go that route, it starts by establishing a new hierarchy. No longer are you interested in challenging whatever is mainstream or the establishment. No, actually, you want to form your new establishment with a hierarchy of other influencers, people that you can act like are your friends to make sure that you're all having each other's back if anything goes south. At this point, it's probably a good idea to go back on everything you've ever said, believed in, or stood for, and to do that, you're gonna want a rebrand with some sort of dyed hair or shitty tattoos. Of course, this is all done so that you can reinvent your image and appeal to as many advertisers as possible, which usually means appealing to a younger and younger demographic, and eventually a child audience.
And it's at this point that you will be posting pictures of yourself constantly, patting yourself on the back for all of your great achievements, bragging about how much money you've made. Everything you post and do online is about yourself, and people should worship yourself. Yeah, it's really less of a cycle and more like a spiral. An endless downward spiral. Now let's pause for a moment so that we can allow the streamers watching this video to read their donations. Welcome to hell.
You literally glorify your own body so much that you need to share it with everybody. Do you know how fucking gay that is? Ah!
The blueprint for the sellout spiral was laid out by another former comedian who made a career off speaking against political correctness and censorship, only to turn his platform into a tool for political propaganda.
It's happening.
Yeah.
All of our enemies are going to prison.
Bro, I know.
Awesome.
She hasn't had any accidents, right?
5 months later.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
In league with Ethan's new platform is senior political analyst for the Young Turks, Hassan Piker. While most streamers focused their content around playing games, Hassan worked his way up the ladder by playing the game of politics.
You are not a serious person if you see the White House drop a rainbow flag and you just lose your mind.
What frustrates me about this is how fucking he's oozing with this like pathetic aura where he's excited that he got big old Target to do his bidding. Like, ooh. So that's actually my favorite idiotic thing that conservatives have been doing. My child turned gay because he saw fucking a binky with a rainbow on it. It's like, no, man, your kid's just gay.
North Carolina.
The North Carolina trans bathroom bills.
I think it's gay Wakanda or something now.
There's like 3 trans minors participating in like high school swim meets in every state maximum.
America now is like gay conda.
Anytime Hassan and Ethan get worked up about something politically, you can guarantee it's in reaction to some low-hanging fruit, conservative boomer posting cringe. They never actually confront anyone who knows what they're talking about, nor do they speak about what they actually believe or value, because what they believe is always changing to fit whatever is considered progressive and forward-thinking for the time. They're not communists, they're probably not even leftists, they're just tools for whatever agenda will keep young, impressionable viewers listening and donating.
Like, this is not politics, man. You're just fucking crying about some dumb shit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cool it there, kid. Before you go spending your entire life savings on these influencers, do you even know who you're funding? Ethan Klein and Hassan? Mafiosas. Part of the same crime syndicate as the Fantanos. These influencers are not to be trusted. They don't give a fuck about you or your family, kid. And all that blood money they've been collecting, it's going towards the big plan. What's the big plan? Wouldn't you like to know? All right, I'll let you in on a little secret. Their plan is to create the most clickable faces possible. And they're gonna do it by building a space colony ark way up there where they're gonna pose in front of the window and have the whole Earth right in the thumbnail. From up there, they're gonna be shooting gay beams all the way down here. That's the plan. You really wanna keep donating now? Didn't think so.
And with the rise of political streamers like these guys, this is honestly how I think it went down. Gee, there's gotta be some way to reach those Zoomers. Yeah, what about Mr. Beast? The kids love that guy. Who do you think is funding him, Joey boy?
We got to get some rids up in here right now. No slack, for real, for real.
What about Cenk Yugi boy? I heard his nephew is pumped full of hormones. Yeah, great! We can get him to play Among Us with Pokimane. Alright, it's settled. We'll have Hassan Piker take over Twitch.
5 months later.
Oh boy! Hassan just hit 50,000 subs.
Excellent. Those kids will be identifying as duel monsters in no time. Yeah, one problem though. With all this liberal propaganda, some of the kids are starting to look for male role models again. Yes, and we found a used car salesman in Romania who fits the role perfectly. He'll lead them straight into the shadow realm. My boy, abusing women is what all true warriors strive for.
The 1960s were a time of spiritual revival in America, fueled by technology, substances, and new ideas that captivated the nation. The 1970s brought this optimism to a screeching halt as a wave of economic turmoil, wars, and crime led to a general breakdown of societal values. The acid-tripping hippies became coke-fueled biker gangs, and the all-encompassing new wave spirituality movement was sequestered to the dark corners of society, taking the form of strange cults led by egomaniacs. They say history repeats itself, and while it's not the exact same, recent decades have seen a similar pattern play out in the culture. The main differences between now and the 70s is that back then, cults formed in real life, where it was obvious when someone was leaving their family to meet with a strange group of people somewhere in the woods. But now, cults are forming online, where anyone outside of the community has no idea they even exist, and anyone who might try to question the cult is immediately banned or censored until they fall in line. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if the next genocide or death cult is led by someone who gained influence online. Luckily, no influencer has gone that far yet, but it's hard to overstate just how deep of an influence streamers have on tens of thousands of live viewers, or how widespread the impact of a YouTuber with tens of millions of subscribers is.
What's your name?
My name is Ormond. I'm 11 years old. This is my Montage. I want to Mr. Beast come here and give me $10,000.
Okay, he's gonna come here. But there is a way out of this. I call it the artist's adventure. And it's when you give up everything to pursue a life full of meaning and purpose. And when you do, life will take you on a crazy adventure to places you've never been, and you'll even confront your own shadow, the depths of your soul, and the collective soul of the human consciousness. And if you can be the best version of yourself, you can conquer your shadow. And maybe, just maybe, you can leave the world a better place than you came into it. Thanks, Shadow. We all miss you.
In this world, there are givers and takers. Those that feel good by taking from others, well, they're kind of like the influencers who want to extract as much value as possible from their viewers. And those who get fulfillment out of giving, they're like the creators who make stunning works of art that inspire generations to come. Whether it's a film that teaches you a lesson, a song that moves you to tears, or a video
that inspires you to make your own. Well, that ought to get some views. Yeah, no time at all. I'll finally be relevant on the internet. Wait. The internet fucking sucks.
Okay. But I absolutely do love this job. I love streaming, and I hope you guys stick along. Thank you.
You are basically saying that it's logical for people to be illogical.
But he's no different to me than any of these children here. He's just one of my children. I don't prefer one above another.
I got no. My favorite content creator is Hassan. Do you know how fucking gay that is?
Good name, not.